Sandra, and it is very difficult, and we got to understand that. And the question that was asked of whether or not those feelings are valid, I think that's the wrong way to start. If a group says that they're hurting, they say, ouch, it's not up to anybody to determine the level of their pain. If they're saying they're hurting, they're hurting. So that in and of itself is not the way to start. There are concerns out there and we need to address them. Absolutely, I understand as an African-American mother, and you heard even Mayor de Blasio reflect on what him and his wife had to do for their son. Well, my husband and I had to do the same thing for our son. And no group of people should have the burden of skin. And that is what is going on in this country, in this state and in this country. But we got to deal with that collectively. And so this is not about pointing fingers at anybody, because as I said earlier, the police need the community and the community need the police. We are in this together, but that doesn't absolve us of our responsibility to deal with the real crises of consciousness that we are again and again facing in this nation, and unless we address it, it will come up again. We may think it disappears just because we don't see it, but it will always, always come up again. And when it comes to Tamir Rice, no parent, it's out of the natural order of things for a parent to have to bury their child, but a 12-year-old little boy, and we need to address how this is not just about the police. This is about us as a society. We got to deconstruct our construction. It is beyond unfortunate that African-American males in particular are seen as more criminal or more violent or more superhuman. That is not a police issue. That is in the DNA of this country, centuries old. And we can deal with this collectively together if we have the courage to have the honest conversations and come to consensus together with our law enforcement, because law enforcement is not our enemy. To come together as a community with all stakeholders to look at what we can do to stem the tide. When I tell you that African-American mothers and Latino mothers wonder every single day whether or not their sons and their daughters will be safe, or whether or not, again, the sin of skin will be wreaked upon them just because of the skin that they're in, we need to do something about that, and we can do something about that. And that is why we are all here today.
Can you talk about